Hello! I'm here to give some tips for the collection of new Warzone mission challenges we got in Season 4. I've seen your comments about them, how they seem super grindy and difficult for Warzone, especially stuff like the point-blank shotgun double kills. Well, I promise they're really not as bad as you think, as long as Rumble is around. It seems like these were made with Rumble in mind, and it may very well be gone when you're watching this. Game modes are never permanent in Modern Warfare. Hey, let's replace quads with realism quads. That's how you make people excited about new content. People won't hate that at all. Yeah, so this time I haven't done all the challenges. I usually like to be done to make a guide, but I've done the most defining steps, like the shotgun and melee stuff, and the rest is all going to be more of the same strategy. So it'd be better to make this now while Rumble is still around. I already waited for Thursday to make sure it stayed, because they said they were re-adding Plunder, which is great, never should have left, and Rumble stayed too. Cool. I'll start by taking a look at this pretty generic mission to set the stage. This one just goes through the different types of weapons, some being easier than others. Obviously, for all of these, you want a mode where you respawn with your loadout. To do these in BR would be crazy. I'll talk about Plunder as an option later too, but Rumble is 100% the easier way when you know how to play it. You got tons of people in a fairly small area, they're easy to find, easy to sneak up on, no armor or downing to worry about. You just need to avoid the snipers. Yeah, I know, most people hate Rumble, I can't say I love it either. The balance is non-existent, it isn't like Ground War with flags and squads that give some spawn control. It's just two permanent halves of the very open map for everyone to snipe at each other. But you can use that to your advantage. With just a little bit of creativity, you can easily avoid the sniper hell of 1,000 glints. Step 1, stop walking into the middle and expecting to live. All it really takes is to hop in a truck or jeep, drive on over to the enemy side of the map. It depends on the map, but usually around the edge is a good bet. Ditch it somewhere semi-safe so that you're not broadcasting your location on the minimap anymore with that vehicle, and then maybe wait for a bit and hide. Hopefully people will forget about you or think you died. And when it's ready, you want to bust out the tactical insertion. Truly the key to playing Rumble with any close quarters weapon. It completely changes how the game plays. Snipers hate him. Use this one weird trick to completely destroy them all. How the tac insert works is you still spawn in the air with a parachute, but you spawn somewhere above your tac insert instead of in your team's spawn. That one field upgrade really is the core of what can turn these challenges from pain in the ass to easy peasy. So I'll just step through some of the individual challenges and show what I did to give plenty of examples, different spots and maps, and then some of the later challenges, like those double kills, do take a bit of a different approach. For SMG kills, I ran a 5.56 AUG since it's the clear choice for range, so I didn't need to flank very much for this. I just dropped an insert on this roof so that I could respawn a bit further forward, and now, even though it doesn't look like much, I've broken past a major line of resistance. Suddenly, I'm behind where all the enemies are landing, and nobody ever expects you to be behind them in this mode. I got better examples than that though. On to shotguns. I was on this bridge map. I like it. Somehow I made it across on an ATV. Wouldn't recommend that. And now I'm at a place where a shotgun can shine. Especially in this house. I spent a lot of time in there. Just gonna clear it out and hold it down. Get an insert in there. It's funny, I'm camping in a house with a shotgun. That sounds horrible. And yet, instead of being ashamed, I feel accomplished. Because in Rumble, doing anything that isn't sitting in the back sniping is cool in my book. Digging in behind enemy lines can be pretty fun. And dying is no big deal, just try to land out of sight of the snipers and get that insert back down. If you got some kills, it should be mostly recharged, and you could run tune-up to get it back even faster. Shotgun kills were a piece of cake in there, as opposed to if you just run at the enemies from your spawn every life. You will never get this done. Then it was on to LMG kills, which again has tons of range, so you don't really need to do anything special here. I was just hanging out in mid, sometimes using the tac insert to just push a little further out than a normal spawn would allow to get on places like this hangar roof in the military base. That is another way you can use the insert, just inching forward. So that's fine, the PKM can counter snipers. Then you do need sniper kills. I don't need to tell you how to snipe in this mode. Then pistol kills, I was back on the bridge map, hung out in my favorite area here, dropped an early insert in the shed so I could respawn, and take my favorite house by force. You get the idea. Let's get on to some other challenges and maps. CQB Specialist has the big 75 shotgun kill grind, which would just be crazy to do without sneaking around in enemy territory like this. I got lots of kills down here in the Riverside Hill Town, but that might have been because people kept coming back for revenge. The vacant port area is great though. I got into this checkpoint station thing, a big favorite of mine, because this is right around where they all float down from their spawn. And I should mention, if you die without a tac insert, which can obviously happen, no big deal, you got there once, you can do it again. A vehicle is almost always your best bet to break through the line, but as we'll see on some other maps, not always needed. You could sneak around the far edge if there's some cover. There, I just grabbed a rover and made it back to my favorite building. I got like half the challenge done in that game. It's worth noting I was leading in kills doing this in just about every game. I know people have resigned to this just being the sniper practice mode, but surely more people are going to start waking up and realizing flanking is very possible and can be quite fun when so many people are sniping and not paying attention. Then it was back to more SMGs. I don't want to show more of this house again. You know I like that place. Then 15 weapon melee kills, even more close and personal. You can go for a movement speed barrel and fast melee sidearm to make it easier, but you'll be fine with whatever. Of course, the flanking strat still applies, but with these, you could also use the drive-by method. Hop in a car, drive right by someone, and hop out next to them. They are always going to turn and keep watching the car, thinking that you maybe missed them. It's an easy single kill, and then you're probably going to die, but you got what you needed. You could do that if you're having trouble with the flank. And sometimes people are extra oblivious. That's always nice, and not all that uncommon in this mode. People are only looking in front of them all the time. Always nice if you get lucky. Now let's shift gears for the big boy challenges. We've done flanking, but now point-blank shotgun double kills. That takes some strategy to arrange. Now we need maximum stealth flanking, because we don't want to be farming kills in the mid-enemy territory around their parachuting range like before. Now we want to go all the way around to the very back of their spawn and get behind some oblivious snipers. My first map trying this was the military base. I drove all the way around the side, ditched the Jeep in a bunker since I was getting shot at, no surprises there, and I waited for the heat to die down before venturing out, heading for the back, and when you get past a certain point, nobody's really looking down anymore. Everyone's looking forward. There's some luck involved there, obviously, but now you're in Easyville. Hang out with the clueless snipers. Have fun. But there is still the challenge of lining up a point-blank double kill, and some maps are better than others for this. Military is not great because there's the whole forest of area where snipers can be. There might not be two guys close enough for it to work. It might have worked if I saw that guy prone there sooner. But anyway, I'll touch on an example of a better map. Still though, I was shocked at how easy it was to hang out behind everyone. Sometimes I got shot at, but mostly there was a lot of waiting around, hoping for two people to group up. If I died, no big deal, I've got a safe insert in the very back. It becomes a patience game now, and eventually, it can pay off. I was behind this guy for ages, then someone landed in front, and he began to move up. Perfect, take him out, almost choke. But there's one, double kill, and both were point blank. The shotgun you choose doesn't really matter. I went with the 680 because 1, I like it, but 2, I was actually afraid that if I were spamming away with an Origin or an R9, people would hear that and think, what the heck is going on behind me, and they'd turn to look. But a single suppressed shot might get brushed off as someone getting sniped. Just a thought, I don't know if it helped or not. What does matter is the suppressor. Use one of those. I do believe it is Warzone rules, so you do show up on the radar when you shoot unsuppressed. Anyway, I wasted plenty more time hiding behind people in the forest, sometimes had to give up and move on. Eventually, I saw a nice lineup of snipers on the hangar, took that opportunity, and that ended up being a nice triple point-blank kill. Only counts as 1 double kill, sadly, but that's fine. I waited around for more people to maybe regroup on that hill again, but the game was almost over. Not bad, got 2 out of 3 in the first game of trying. Got the winning kill, too, didn't even notice that before. Then the next game was in the park, maybe the best map you can get, but I was on the wrong side. I'd love to be on the other side so I could come around back, very safe place for attack insert down there, and then you can come up on this tower thing where there are always unsuspecting snipers tunnel visioned in on the field in front of them. That's what I mean about some maps having a more localized sniper area rather than a big open forest where you just have to get lucky. Not too lucky though. In 32v32, usually some people are near each other. So I flew over to the enemy spawn, survived, waited for the heat to die down again, and got the tac insert down, and the sneaking began. Now I'm behind everyone. Easy stuff. This guy was wise to it though, can't have that. Then what do we have here? See, Rumble ain't that bad. I know it looks like sniper hell on the surface, but you can totally do other stuff. That looked pretty good there, but actually only 1 was point blank. You need to be barrel stuffing for those, so that didn't count. I thought attack insert in the tower would be funny, but I didn't make it. So here I can demonstrate how some maps can make it easy to flank without a vehicle. I just ran down the entire trench, and nobody cared. Everyone is sniping in mid. This part of the map may as well not exist. So I walked all the way there, got my attack insert down, and went again. Got back to my fire station, immediately found another sniper, and waited. It only took 10 seconds until I got what I needed, went in for the point blanks, and there's that challenge done. I'm sure I went a bit overboard with the examples for that challenge, but I really wanted to go through every step of the thought process. I've seen a lot of claims of just how impossible that challenge is, and I agree it sounds that way on the surface, especially if you're thinking of regular Warzone with armor going down and people that are much more aware of their surroundings instead of just practicing sniping. If you change up your playstyle, Rumble can make it pretty easy. I was just hanging out in their spawn for a while there. I don't know if there were nukes in Rumble, but I feel like you could drop one pretty easy in there. If I were to improve the flanking strat, you could toss a heartbeat sensor on, why not? There's not a huge reason to run Ghost in this mode, unless people are just using their Warzone classes. The stun was an okay idea too though, to keep people together for the point blanks. Also, you may as well put on Ghost and Cold-Blooded if the name of the game is stealth. What if someone's running high alert? You'd definitely want to be countering that. You could also use the Field Upgrade Pro thing with Dead Silence and Attack Insert. If you want to get fancy, I just prefer to keep Attack Insert charged up. That point blank mission then moves on to sniper kills again, which, by the way, even sniping gets more fun when you're behind enemy lines, as opposed to lined up with everyone else. Alright, now I've got one more different strategy for you for these weird Warzone challenges that involve killing in tricky and specific ways, and this doesn't involve Rumble. Here's something you can do if Rumble goes away someday. It's a little buried in the video, because I think people would be upset if I helped make this too widespread, because that would make it less viable. And it is a little exploitative. Not of any glitch though, it's just kinda cheap. It's a classic method, always been a thing in BRs, where you just drop with the AFKs. Plunder is what you want, so you spawn with your loadout. The BR can work too if you need something like finishing moves, but Plunder's generally the better bet. I think it makes more sense for people to be AFK at the start of Plunder as well. And then you can come in with a shotgun or with shrapnel double frags or whatever you need. Just make sure to solo queue, turn fill off to not drag down any teams, and you just sit in the plane, wait for it to kick everyone out at the end, float down with whoever's there, if anyone, and you might have a guy who's trying to do the same thing you are, who's active, take him out first if you can, and then you've hopefully got some people who hit Q and went to the bathroom, or to get food, or maybe they're trying to macro some battle pass progression, whatever. Out of 102 Plunder people, there's a good chance that there's someone, and they'll just be standing there for you to do whatever you want. I wouldn't call it boosting because they're not willing participants working together with you, but it does feel a little cheap, as I said. This was the first and only time I've done this in Warzone actually, and it went way better than expected. I thought I might get 1 or 2 AFK, and there was a crowd. I didn't even have a mission selected for this. Anyway, that's an option too, and if Rumble is truly gone, then yeah, Plunder is decent for kills. You respawn with your loadout, and there are plenty of ways to track people down through the bounties and the top earners, but there's all the issues of armor, downing, and people being on communicating teams that are much more aware, usually trying to win, not just practicing sniping. So those are your two main methods, ultra stealthy tack insert Rumble flanking, or Plunder with a touch of AFK people. If Rumble is gone when you're watching this, I'm sorry, it may very well come back, or maybe they'll have an even better mode in the future. To briefly talk about other tough challenges you'll run into, like the finishing moves, the frag kills, a bunch of other equipment, sliding SMG kills, well, there's no magic for those individually. I hope you can apply the strategies I've shown to do all of that, because you can do whatever you want when you're behind an oblivious sniper, and in my experience, you can set that up pretty consistently. Of course, sometimes you're going to get sniped, or blown up, or discovered as you sneak around. You'll get unlucky, and maybe people will become increasingly aware of these strategies if Rumble sticks around for a while and more people start playing this way. Snipers are going to start watching their backs more. But hopefully the only people who know about all this are also flanking around behind your team spawn, so they won't mess with you. For the time being, Rumble is an incredible mode for grinding these kills if you care about any of these missions. It's still a pretty bad game mode, but there is actually more to it than Sniper Hell. Might I add another funny way to counter snipers that are all clustered in one area? The Joker. Give it a go. If you cared about those launcher long shots, then this is the perfect mode. Anyway, I hope you learned some things about Rumble and how you can approach all these new grindy Warzone kill challenges. Hopefully now you'll agree that they're not as bad as they may have seemed. Getting behind snipers is pretty fun. You can let me know if I left out some big piece that you were hoping to hear some thoughts on. Otherwise, good luck, and thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.